Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to Comp28. Today we'll learn something called the switch structure. So, what is it about? The last thing we were talking last time about what we introduced the different forms of the if-else structures. One of the forms of the if-else structure was the ladder, where you have if-else, if-else, if-else. This structure, the if-else ladder structure, can be substituted with a switch structure. So a switch is actually an if-else structure, an if-else, if-else, if-else connected structure. So what is a switch statement? How does it look like? Again, I will repeat, switch is like if-else structure. So it's a selection structure. You select a path. The same idea, but different structure. Switch expression. So we're going to have a variable here. Okay, so switch, variable between brackets. Case value 1 means if this variable is equal to value 1, do that. And there should be a word break here and you go out. As if now we have the second case is like saying else if this variable is equal to value 2, do this. Else if this variable here is equal to value 3, do these statements, and so on. So it's exactly, we learn it more with examples. With some examples, you will know exactly how it works. Okay, but there's something special about this switch statement is that, as you can see, the variable here should have a discrete value, which means that I cannot say case it's less than value 1 or case it's greater than or equal. That's not allowed. It has to be equal. So switch, like the switch that you have for a light bulb, it's either on or off. Switch means that you can go from one state to another. It has discrete states, either this state or this value or this value. For an example of this would be your grade. Your grade at the end is going to be either A or a B or a C or a D. It can't be between these values. So switch is only used with discrete values. I should have a discrete value and here you should have equal. And because it's discrete values, it cannot be a decimal point. It cannot include a decimal point. Okay, so it has to be an integer or a character. So the type of this variable is either an integer or a character. All of these details are present in the slides. As you can see, again, this is a clearer way of putting switch where you have a break. And break, what it does, it takes you out of the structure, of any structure. We'll take it in about 2 lectures from now. Breaks you or takes you out of the whatever structure it is in. So it's in this structure, it will break you out. So if the expression was equal to value 1, I do these statements and that's it. If it's equal to value 1, then I'm sure it's not equal to value 2, it's not equal to value 3. So I don't need to check those values. You just check if the expression, if the variable here is equal to value 1, do the statements and break, go out. If this was not true, case value 1 not true, you go to check case value 2. If it's not true, you check case 3. If the variable was equal to value 3, you do it and you break, you go out. All right? And this is an example of switch option where option is the grade, for example, and the type of option is character because I'm saying here case A. So when I say case A, as if I'm writing down if option is equal to A. If this is true, I'm going to say IA count plus plus and then break. You break out of the structure. Okay? Case B, what am I doing here? I can have multiple statements. I can do anything here. Whatever you want to do, print f, anything in the body here. Okay? In this example, I'm saying B count plus plus. That's okay. You can do anything in here. So what I'm doing here, B count is an integer, and I'm counting how many B's, how many C's, and how many A's, and there's a while, there should be a loop, something like that. We'll take this more into details later on, such example. If you omit the break, then you will have, even if the option was equal to A, you have to check, is it equal to B? Of course it's going to be. If it's equal to A, of course it's going to be not equal to B and not equal to C, but you're going to check them anyway. So in order to avoid checking them and you know it's false, you have to put break. So for each case, there's 2 dots here, and you have to put a break and a semicolon. More examples will assure that you understand it very well. There's the last part of the case, okay, has no associated value in case it wasn't none of the cases. If it wasn't none of the cases was true, usually you can have a default statement, which is optional. Okay, if the default statement, this means that if none of the cases was true, it will go to the default. Okay, so if it's not A, nor B, nor C, it definitely will go. Default means if none of these was true, which means that when you put a default, there has to be breaks, by the way, because because default, you go to default if you didn't break. So case A, break, so you will not go to the default. If there's no break, you cannot put default. Default means you should have break. Okay? Because if there's no break and you go case A and it was true, you check case B, you check case C, if there are no breaks. And then you will have to do the default as well. Okay? So if you get to the default, you will do it. The only way not to get to the default is that you're going to break. If you don't break, you will not reach the default. Okay? So if you reach the default, here, this means you didn't break at any cases, which means none of the cases is true. Then you will reach the default, because in default there is no check. You do it anyway. Okay? To avoid going to a default, to avoid getting to a default when you are in case A or B or C, then you have to put break. So if the case was A, the option is equal to A, you break. Okay? Very simple. You'll see it in another example that it's really simple. So as we said again, it can only be an integer or a character, okay? And you cannot have less than or greater than. Let's look at an example here. I put an example, simple example on the GDP compiler, which you can use online, okay? Usually I use this in my classes. Let's look at this code together. What do I have here? I have a main, integer number equal 8, okay? Switch number, so let's look at the structure together. The word switch, num, which is the variable. I told you it's a variable, so that's the variable here, and it's an integer. Switch number between brackets, and I put a curly brace that indicates the body of the switch, and this is the end of the switch structure. Case 7, which means case number, which means if number is equal to 7, printf value is 7, break. Case 8, printf value is 8, break. You can have more than one print, you can have anything here, that's fine, okay? Case 9, printf value is 9, break. Default, printf out of range. Let's run this. If we run it, because number is equal to 8, then it will print out, so number is already equal to 8, so case 7 is false. It will skip to case 8. Is it equal to 8? Turned out to be true, so it will output value is 8 and breaks out. Okay, breaks out of the switch structure. If I have some printfs here, then it will do them. So, but if the value was 10, let's say the value was 10, do I have a 10 here? I have case 7, case 8, and case 9, no case 10. So it will check 7, no, 8, no, 9, no, default. So it will print the default, which is out of range. Okay. There's another option that usually you use to bring it in the exams. If I say case 9 and then case 11 like this, this is a comment. So this means if the number, if num is 9 or 11. So if the number is equal to 9 or 11, so if you put two cases like this after each other, this means that you are checking 9 or 11. So printf value is 9 or 11, let's say, and let's put here the value 11 and let's check if it's gonna work. So what happened here, I put two cases under each other. This means that case 9 or case 11, and consequently I just changed the printf to actually show what we did. Okay, so value is 9 or 11. If we run it, it should work. So value is 9 or 11. So this is an OR. Okay. If you like, you can do another example using, let's do another example. Let's say, let's have a character. So car, okay, a grade equal, and as we said, the grade or characters should be enclosed between quotes. If you get an A, printf, let's say excellent. Okay, if you get a B, printf, let's say very good. If you get a C, okay, or a D, let's say, okay, printf, okay, not bad. Okay, break default, you should have worked more. Okay, and if we run it, as you can see, the value we quoted between quotes because the variable grade is a character. So if we run it, I have compilation error. Oh yeah, we kept this num, it has to be now grade. Okay, so switch grade, we're checking grade, we don't have num anymore. So since the grade is equal to A, the first case was true. If we put it equal to D, okay, let's run it now. Not bad, so it went into the no, case C or D. Okay, so here case C, case grade is C or D. Okay, now this is just a comment, so it didn't affect the output. Now if grade is equal to F, God forbid, and we run, okay, then it should go to the default. You should have worked more. Please use this compiler if you may, if you like, and try this code in it, and you will see that the switch is actually an if-else structure. That's it about the selection structures. You can use if-else, switch structure. And switch structure is very important that you cannot have less than or greater than. It's only is the grade equal to A, is the grade equal to B. It has to be equal and it has to be discrete values, okay? They have to be either character or integer. That's it. Our next lecture, we start with the repetition structures, very easy as well, and we'll have some examples on them. Yeah, so please do practice and run those codes in order to get used to them. Thank you so much.